got to talk to you when you first got here to talk a little bit about the offensive line, and now that you've had a chance to observe a little bit better, what are you seeing out there for the offensive line?
It's a very competitive group. I think they're all competing not only on the field but off the field. When we get in the meeting rooms, they're all kind of pushing each other to learn what we're trying to teach. They're competing to show one another and us as coaches that they've got it and that they can do it. So that's really kind of fun to watch, and kind of be around, because it's a bunch of people, I think, collectively in the whole building, people that are excited about new opportunities, new possibilities. And I think that's probably, coaches and players. And you can see it in the players when they get their opportunities. The last couple of days having team drills, they're excited to be out there and excited to kind of start putting the pieces together and compete and kind of show that, hey, I belong, I can help, I can serve a role. And that's always exciting and kind of re-energizing the coaches when you have a group of guys that are like that.
How has Coleman done as far as, has he surprised you any right now, and as far as him being a rookie just starting out?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say surprised. I've been real pleased with his very business-like approach in the classroom. He works really hard to get the information that we're giving him. And he asks really good questions, so it shows a high level of understanding. I mean, he asked some questions that you would expect maybe from some veterans. So that's been probably the most pleasant. I don't want to say surprised. I had an idea that he was a smart, bright guy, but it's maybe just the pace at which he's asking those questions, meaning he's processing the information, where he's digesting it, he's applying it, and he's taking it to the next step as far as his question asking, and that's been real good.
Is it hard because of the fact that you've got him, looking at guard, tackle, two areas of just learning, although he's played it before, but is it a little even more to take in?
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think, if what you do is you kind of break it into pieces, this is, I believe DQ has said, crawl, walk, run, and so really, we're at that part where, we're starting to walk a little bit. And I think when you do that, I think the mistake that happens a lot of times, you try to run right off the bat. And if you start off, kind of start at page one and don't be afraid to go back to page one to, make sure everybody's got it. And that's where I think that's helped everybody, because they're all new. If you think about it, we're putting in, a system, a collaborative effort of where, hey, even the guys that were here, it's new to them. The guys that we brought in free agency, it's new to them. So for him, I think he took the good approach of coming and going, well, it's new to me because I'm a rookie, but it's new to all these guys too, and I've been real happy with the way the room operates together as a whole, because I see veterans, helping him when he needs help. Yeah. I see him spending extra time, and they see that too, so they know that if he's called upon, he's working to be there to answer the bell. So I think that's probably been the biggest thing is, everybody's helping one another. Because everybody wants to be, collaborative and put it together and be successful.
In the process of putting everything together to be successful, and I think it's early because, you're just putting the pieces together. And we're talking about promise way back when you first got here, but how much promise do you see in this headed in the right direction? And do you have what you needed, the pieces?
Yeah, because really I think it's promising because the guys are all competing. And that's the thing is, you don't. Everybody has to compete to push everybody to their potential, And right now, everybody's competing. Not only offense versus defense. It's guys in the same room are competing. Everybody wants to be the guy, and our room's a little bit more unique in the fact that 5 guys got to be one. So they know they got to compete to win jobs. Their big thing is they're trying to push one another to go, hey, whoever the 5 are, we eventually got to play like one, so everybody better be ready. So they're doing a really good job of leaning on one another, helping one another, and that's a very promising thing. We're still a long way away. We're just starting to walk. We just had 2 team periods. That's it. So we're not even close to running yet, and there's not time to run. So
it's the process, right?
No doubt, it's definitely a process. And right now everybody in the building's competing. We're all trying to be the best department. The coaches are trying to be the best department, and front office is trying to be the best department, and the kitchen staff, they bring their A game every day. I mean, everybody's competing because everybody wants to they all understand they have a role. And that's a vital thing in our room is everybody's going to have a role. In order to have a role, you've got to compete to earn a role. And so they're all trying to get a role, and that's fun because we haven't had a hiccup yet where, you know, hey, I don't want a role. I mean, you know what I mean? So everybody's working to put their best foot forward because they want to be here.
And if they didn't want a role, then you won't want them here anyway.
Right. So I mean, that's the good thing is like everybody comes to work every day and they give me a great effort. And the one thing I ask them is give me effort. If you give me effort, I'm going to keep pouring into you. And I look for really three things. I look for, you know, smart, tough, and dependable guys. And they're all working hard to learn what we're asking, so they're showing that they can get it, all right? They're showing me toughness because they're working their butts off when we go out on the field. Yeah. They're working hard in the weight room. They're studying at night. I can tell when we come in the morning and I start asking questions, some of the questions I asked, you had to look at it the night before, and they're answering the questions, you know, and they're doing it on a consistent basis, so they're dependable. So what I'm asking them to do, they're doing. And that's where, you know, that's where the promise lies, you know, that I talked about before.
Yeah, so as veteran camp takes place next week, what are you hoping to see with these guys before they go on a break before training camp in late July?
I'm looking for them to continue what they've been doing, and that's compete. You know, it's going to be a 3-day stretch where, you know, we're going to ask them, you know, we're going to push them a little bit more. And I told my group in particular that when we practice, you know, we're going to keep pushing you out of your comfort zone because that's the only way for us to grow. If you stay in your comfort zone, you can't grow. So really what I want to see is I want to see them compete with one another and in the defense, obviously, but I want to see them, you know, push themselves out of their comfort zone, you know, and start to, you know, get that strain that we need because if you strain now, it's going to pay dividends in the fall. And so I just want to see him kind of show me those things on the last 3 days. That way that they go, okay, we're ready for the next step when it comes, you know, training camp. That's really what I'm looking for.
You hear Coach say it, if they strain now, you're going to see the results later. But as they go on the break, what is the message that you want to leave with them during this, you know, few weeks break before training camp? What do you want to instill into them in getting prepared for when it really counts?
I just want them to know what they're going to, you know, what they're going to need to be when they get here as far as, you know, not only physically but mentally, you know, because each phase of this, you know, season or the off season, you're getting one step closer to being real, you know, and that's a physical and mental thing. And really what I want them to do is when they get away, hey, don't lose everything that you put into it in the off season. Get away, recharge your battery, refresh your brain, enjoy some of the things that you're gonna have to step away from for, you know, for the time of the season. You know, prioritize, you know, enjoy, you know, spend your time with your loved ones, you know, your families, your kids, those of them that have them, you know, and then do all that. And then when you come back, it's time to really, really work. All right. So that's really what I'm trying to get to them. That's what I want them to do. And I have confidence in this group that they'll handle themselves like professionals.
Hey, Coach, you don't get a break.
Maybe a little one.